Welcome back to my channel. Tammy Talks here. Let's go ahead and get right into Queens season 1 episode 9 bars. So Queens has returned for the second half of the first season. If you are brand new to my channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video if you enjoyed today's content, and then hop into the comment section so we can talk about this episode, y'all. So it starts off with the group being at the cemetery. Naomi, Jill, Valeria, Eric, and Lil Muffin. And they're trying to make it seem as if Brianna is gone. We know that Brianna did not die. We know that Eve has not left the show. She is just on maternity leave. So the whole issue with them trying to make it seem as if, the whole thing with them trying to make it seem as if they're standing outside of Bree's cemetery, or even writing it to try to make people think that she has passed away, is kind of silly. I think the whole thing is like that is stupid whenever writers do that, especially considering that we know for sure that Eve has just taken time away from the show because she is on maternity leave. But all right, so I think initially, I assumed they were at like Jeff's funeral or whatever. However, they're standing around talking, and everyone's like, it's so weird that Jill's not here. I mean, it's so weird that Bree's not here. Jill said that, Queens is done for good. So they all make the decision that they're not going to sing anymore. They're not going to be a group. They're just going to kind of go their separate ways. So Naomi bought Bree's house, and she is living there with Eric, their daughter, I think her name is JoJo, and then Lil Muffin lives there. Muffin is living there because she is studying for the bar. She wants to be a public defender. She wants to, turn her life around and help out others. So then we see Valeria is now in the booth. She's still working on music. She comes out and she's kind of asking her sound engineer, do you ever talk? Why aren't you talking? And he was like, my job is to not talk. My job is to make sure that you sound good on tape. It's not hard for you. You're great. So then he's like, but since I already, am not being professional, let me go ahead and let's go out to dinner. So they end up going out, grabbing drinks, and it just turned into him being like, I know another place. I know another place. And then the two of them eventually go to Vegas and get married. We see Jill's now an actress now. So she's on set. She's doing a scene with the guy where she has to kiss him. And she keeps wanting to do the scene over and over and over again because it's not going the way that she thinks it should have gone. So I think Jill is like trapped in the zone of like wanting to be a super perfectionist. And that's what's going to kind of deteriorate her her spirit throughout the course of the episode. So Jill doesn't want anything to do with the Queens. So they're calling her, they're texting her. She just kind of feels that they have gone their separate ways. She feels responsible for the fact that Brianna did get shot and for the fact that Eric got shot. So she doesn't want to have anything to do with them. She keeps having these nightmares where she's replaying like the gun going off, and she's seen when she what's the other one? So she's seen when the gun's going off, and then the other nightmare is her, like, when she hit her ex-husband over the head with the candlestick. So she keeps replaying it over and over and over, so she's not getting any sleep. Her assistant is telling her, like, it's going to start to show. You have to get some sleep. Don't go through what you're going through alone. You need to call your friends, get it together. So there's this girl named Cash Mermaid. And JoJo, who is Naomi's daughter, comes into Muffin's room and tells her, look at this video. Cash Mermaid is now kicking it with the bakery, who is Muffin's little entourage of little gay men that she was in her crew. And they're out and they're making a diss song about her. And little Muffin was like, that is so old, that's tired. Her name is such and such. She used to be a fan. She hit me up, and I guess now she wants to be a rival. So, but Muffin is like, I'm retired, I'm past that, I'm studying for the bar, I don't have time for this. So, Naomi is out, and she is grocery shopping with Muffin, and she sees Lady Z. right? So she saw her earlier in the episode, who's played by Remy Ma. Lady Z is supposed to be this like amazing rapper who used to go head to head with Naomi, and then Naomi said that she ethered her career. So she's talking to Eric about it, and she's just like, I saw her working at like a grocery store. She's bagging groceries, and she's kind of like, you know, look what the industry has done to her and whatever the case. And she tells Eric, we need to do something. Or she actually tells Eric, like, you know, what happened to her. She caused her, you know, she caused her own downfall in the industry. So she goes to see her at the grocery store and asks if she wants to record something with her. So Naomi kind of low-key feels a little bit responsible for what happened with Lady Z in her career. And she's like, let's work together. Let's put something out. We were both two of the dopest in the game. Lady Zadia was like, no, I'm not doing that, because she says she's past that. She works now. She has a good job. She likes her job. She, you know, they respect her. They trust her. She's been Employee of the Month 3 times. I said, all right. So she's like, she says she's done with the music industry. So Naomi was like, yeah, but I need you. You know, let's do something together. So Valeria calls Naomi and it's like, I have a big surprise. And she brings her new husband to the house, and they are like, what is going on with you? So she tells her, they're like, this is crazy. You don't marry somebody that you just meet. And they're trying to talk some sense into, Naomi trying to talk some sense into her. And after Eric sits down and talks to the guy's name is Thomas, he finds out that like he's really into her. He's taking it serious. It's not like a come up for him or anything like that. So Naomi is in the studio and she's waiting for Zadia to show up, which she does. She goes in and she freestyles a verse, and Naomi is like singing the hook in the bridge for it. And it just makes me wonder, why didn't they make them be like an actual group? And what I mean by that is not just 4 women that rap. Why didn't they have Brianna as the rapper, I guess Valeria as a rapper? Why didn't Brandy or Naturi actually just be a singer in the group? But because like, to me it makes no sense, because we see Naomi's character doing so much singing now. But alright, so they decide that, you know, it's good, and Naomi is ready to put the song out, and, what's her name? Zadia is like, no, I told you I'm done with the music industry. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. So Becky calls Muffin, who is, Cash Mermaid, name is Rebecca. She calls Muffin. It's like, I just want to apologize. You know, they don't tell you what happens when you're in the industry, or what to expect when you're in the industry. Can you sit down and like mentor me and kind of talk me through this? Muffin is like, sure, I'll let you know. So Valeria is talking to her husband, Thomas, and they're like picking a spot to go for their honeymoon. And he's like, well, why don't we go to New York? You know, we can see your family. I'm from Jersey. My parents really want to meet you. I'm sure your parents want to meet me. Like, he's excited. I got a big family, tons of cousins. We're all super close. Like, you know, let's go do that. And she's very reluctant. You know, she's looking at, you know, these exotic places and all that other type of stuff. And she's just like, yeah, sure. We know that Valeria doesn't know who her mother is. She grew up an orphan. So she's not exactly, I don't want to say she's embarrassed by her past, but she doesn't have any family, and she doesn't know how to exactly tell him that. So we see Jill is on set in her trailer, and she's still having these nightmares and about the shooting. So her assistant comes in and tells her, whatever you are going through, you need to call your friends, call your other group members, because you shouldn't be going through what you're going through alone. So we see her call somebody, and I'm like, okay, Jill, growth, because I'm thinking that maybe Jill's actually going to call someone, but she doesn't. We don't see who she calls. So we see Zadia and Naomi. They're out for drinks. And Zadia just said that she is done with the music industry. She was driven out because she assaulted Frank Black. But she's like, that's not the whole story. Really, he assaulted her and then like covered it up because he's so powerful in the industry. So we see Jill sitting in a dark parking lot. She called a drug dealer. He comes up to her and he's like, I never expected to see you again. This is crazy. Like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Like, you know, like he's almost kind of like he don't want to sell it to her, but he's going to, you know, because of the money. But he's really on some like, what is going on, Jill? So she like takes it and she buys her a little baggie of cocaine. So back at the house, Naomi's talking to Eric and she's like, we need to help Zadia. Like the fact that, you know, she was really assaulted and not the other way around. And Eric's ignorant ass was like, why didn't she say anything before? And then he realizes it and was like, I'm sorry, that was insensitive. So Naomi's whole thing is, let's try to help her. Can't you call somebody to like get her a deal? Like she is still dope. She's still hungry. Let's go do it. She shouldn't be, you know, stuck living her life as a grocery bagger when she's just like elite MC that, you know, should be still out here on top of the game. So Eric is like, fine, we can do it. So we pan over to Muffin. Muffin is sitting out at this restaurant. She's ready to help Cash Mermaid. Cash Mermaid comes in, throws her books out, and it's kind of like, why did you call me here to talk? You're trying to, you know, apologize, whatever. So Mermaid basically tried to set her up to make, like, to create some fake beef and some fake clout. Muffin was like, I don't have time for this bull, and she kind of leaves, and it's like, I got caught up in you trying to do like a clout chasing thing and kind of calls her out about it, and it's like, this is stupid. So she leaves. So we get back. Jill is driving and she's having all these flashbacks and these thoughts and memories of them all saying that, you know, we're all in this together, we're doing life together, yada, yada, yada. So she throws her cocaine out the window, right? She doesn't want the drugs anymore. After she throws it out, we see, woo, woo, now she's being pulled over. She's panicking because she thinks it's for the drugs, but the cop is like, you have expired registration. You know, I have to write you up, but this is just like a citation precursor basically. And I've gotten these before from like not being, my license plates being expired. You get put over, they give you 30 days. If you get the registration up to date and renewed, it's not a ticket. If you do not get it done in time, then it becomes a ticket. So Jill is like, okay, cool. Meanwhile, the other female cop comes up and it's like, is this little bag of yours? Did this come out your window? And Jill, instead of being like, I don't know where that came from, does the whole look where it's like, yeah, it's obvious now that I messed up, and this is like, oh God. Jill's character has been irritating me since like episode 2, to be real. So Cash Mermaid is doing another video, and or she posted the entire video, and at the end she's like, Muffin is washed up and she's fake and this is it, ain't that right? And she says, ain't that right, my nigga? And Naomi and them were looking like, wow. So this is all going on while Valeria is just like trying to decide if she should get a divorce or not, because she doesn't want Thomas to know the real truth about her, that she just doesn't have a family and all this other type of stuff. So Muffin goes and records this diss track that everybody was like, woo, diss track. All right. So we have Jill. She's calling Naomi, and Naomi's like, cool, because they were in the studio with Muffin, and she's like, let me put you on speaker. And she tells them that she's in jail. So they go to bail her out, and Jill is just like, she still feels guilty about what happened to Bree, and, you know, this is all her fault. She still, you know, because her ex-husband is the one that did the shooting, she still feels like this ultimately comes down on her. You know, she's the cause of this. If she wouldn't have been messing around on her ex-husband with Tina, then this wouldn't have happened, yada, yada, yada. So they tell her, like, this is not your fault. Like, this is his issue. This is something he has to deal with. And then Valeria asks her, do you need help? Meaning, are you back on that shit? Do we need to get you in an outpatient, inpatient, something? And Jill is like, I never took the drugs. I honestly never took them. I bought them, but I didn't take them. So then they start talking about Valeria and how she married this guy on the first date and all this other stuff. And Jill is just like, that's crazy. That's crazy. But, you know, do what's best for you. Just be upfront with him. Be honest about him. You know, the whole life is too short type of spiel that they like to do. So Muffin comes downstairs and it's like the charges were dropped. Jill's not going to jail. She's like, I called the DA and I told them they don't have proof that it was her cocaine and if they want to be dragged into court. And Muffin is going in as if she like really was out there slanging that legal jargon, only for her to be like, when they hung up on me, I called the mayor, offered to perform for his daughter's sweet 16 birthday party, so the charges were dropped. So Jill now has a second chance. Let's not squander it away, okay? So then Eric comes in and he's like, the industry is not feeling Zadia. You know, we tried to shop her around. She's still really blackballed. So no label is really trying to, no label really wants to sign her. He was like, but they are feeling Muffin. So, you know, Arista, Interscope, Def Jam, all these places want Muffin. And Naomi is like, yeah, they want her for now because she's doing this now, you know, super conscious rap. But what happens when they decide in a couple of months they don't want her? So Naomi is like, we need to just start our own label where the artists have control over what they want to put out. Basically like an indie label. So they approached Zadia and she was like, what the hell is Nasty Girl Records? And they're like, this is our label together. You know, you're going to have control over your career, creative control. This is all on you. And Zadia is just kind of like, how are y'all going to be able to afford all of this? They're like, we have our own studio. We have all this stuff. We're all going to put out our own solo projects on there. So, like, this is going to be dope. So, even if they decide to come back together as the Queens and do some type of song, they can because now they own all their own stuff. Nasty Girl Records, I guess, is an okay name. I guess they couldn't do, like, Queens Radio or Queens Records because of Nicki. But I feel like Queens or something like that would have been a better fitting name, but because are you gonna, like, I guess they're only going to be signing women because no man is going to sign in Nasty Girl Records, but we'll see what happens. So we see Valeria. She takes Thomas to her mother's grave and she's like, this is my mom's grave. I was an orphan. I don't know my family. I don't have any family for you to meet. And he tells her, you do have family. So maybe this is going to be really good for Valeria. Thomas seems to like really care about her. Getting married on the first date is not ideal, but I feel like it's gonna work out in the long run for Valeria. So fingers crossed for her. And then after they're like popping champagne and talking at the end, and Naomi is like, you know who we need to call. And they call Brianna. She's out looking like she's on some island. The twins come up. They're like, let's go to the beach. Let's go do this. She sees them calling, but she silences the phone. And she is just reading a book and like just kind of living life. So I guess that's going to be their way of like, Bree took some time for herself to get herself together to deal with everything that happened. And I'm assuming season 2, if there is a season 2, after Eve has her baby and comes back, then Brianna might come back to, not necessarily the group, but maybe Brianna would come in and help out with like artist development or something like that within Nasty Girl Records. So that was season 1, episode 9. It was actually I thought it was a good episode. It was decent. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Catch you in the next one.